Yo, what's up? Thanks for coming back for another video. I wanted to have a little bit of fun today. As you see over there on the screen, I've got a list of games that I'm gonna go through today, and these are titles that I had so much fun with, and like I still want to play more. I just don't want to play the same thing over again. I wish that I was able to wipe my memory, forget the game, and start over from the beginning as if I had never played it. There's a lot of them, but I was able to narrow this list down to 7. I guess I'll give you a bonus at the end, games that are not on the list on the screen, but these ones that I have in my library on PlayStation are 7 games that I absolutely wish I could play again. Gosh, they were so good. And as you see, I got a PS5 here, got the DualSense. Most of these I played PS5 versions. Some of them were PS4 versions on PS5, but I got 100% on basically all these besides one of them. But that just tells you how much I like the games. They're so freaking good. So to start off, the first game on the list, as you see highlighted on the screen, is Cyberpunk 2077. Now this is a game that had a lot of controversy around it. It released in horrible condition and people hated it because it was so buggy, unplayable in some ways, and crashed so much. I had to deal with so many crashes. But I powered through it and I finished the game. Like, I got everything done. Tried everything on the map, got 100%. And got the platinum trophy. Was real proud of that. Took me just under 100 hours. And now I'm like wanting to replay the game because they fixed all the bugs. They've come out with a PS5 version and it's better than ever. So now is the time to play Cyberpunk, especially since Netflix just released Edge Runners, the anime, and like there's so much hype around it. It's now back up at the top of the seller list on all the different platforms. It's beating out new games. It's crazy. It's finally getting its time to shine. So even after that rough start, it's still, popular, and that just proves that it's a good game. I enjoyed it when I played it when it first came out. Sure, there was a lot of problems, but it was still so fucking fun. And I will say that if I was able to forget it and play this version now, I'd be a lucky man. So if you haven't played Cyberpunk 2077 yet, let me know. But yeah, so that is game number 1, Cyberpunk 2077. Loved it so much and would happily play it again if I could forget it. I'll be playing the new DLC though once it comes out in 2023. It's just gonna be a while before that gets here. But it looks good and I'll be playing the game again then. Still not the same as restarting it from the beginning though. Alright, the second game on this list is Control. And I actually got Control Ultimate Edition, which has all the DLC. I got it for free on PlayStation Plus a few months back, actually several months back. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but when I played the game, I really wasn't aware of how fucking sick it would be. It is so good. For one, this controller here, they actually make use of it. The haptics and the adaptive triggers in Control are the best of any shooter game I've played on PlayStation 5. Still, like there's games that just forget about it and don't do anything at all, but this game just took it to another level. You could feel the raindrops hitting in the haptics, all the guns felt different, and the game itself is just so freaking fun to play. You get these abilities where you can like levitate, you can throw rocks, like not tiny rocks, massive boulders that you can like levitate with your hand and throw. It's so cool and it's creepy. It's trippy. There's so many good things about it, and I was obsessed with this game when I played it. I finished the whole game, finished all the DLC, got 100% on everything, which took quite a while, but it was all fun. I never got bored of it. By the time I finished, I was like, I still want to keep playing because like no other game is this fun with the DualSense. Like, it's so fun. I highly recommend it if you can get it for cheap, or if you got it for free like I did. Even if you got to pay for it, like $20 or something, it's worth it. Just get the Ultimate Edition so you get all the DLC, because you might be like me and dying to play more. Now, I'm sure it's good on other platforms as well, but PS5 is where you really need to play this because they made that game special. But yeah, Control Ultimate Edition, I would say, is another game I wish I could play from the beginning again. It was just so enjoyable. All right, next on the list, if you see over there on the TV, is Ghost of Sushima. This is probably, I would say, my favorite open world RPG of all time. Oh my god, it's so good. Set in Japan, you're a samurai, it's gorgeous, it is so fun to explore. The way they do waypoints and you just follow the guiding wind, it's just so clever. No other game's really done it like that. I loved the single player so much, but after I finished it, they eventually came out with the Legends multiplayer mode, which again was amazing. You could do like these wave-based things that were real fun with friends. But then you can play co-op story, which I played with one of the homies on High Brazil. I don't know how you say that, Raizel. Gamer Omega is how I know him. That's his PSN. But you know, we had so much fun playing that shit, bro. That was so fun. That's some of the best co-op experience I've ever had, and you know, I loved it. I played like 100 hours total of that game, and then they came out with DLC, and it's Iki Island. They came out with the director's cut version of the game. I got it because it came with the PS5 upgraded version to where finally you got the DualSense controller support, and they had new content, and I was dying to play more of the game. Got back into it, beat everything there, and you know, I got that platinum trophy. I feel good. I played the shit out of that game. I'm looking over in front of me right now. I got a Ghost of Tsushima poster. I used to have a Ghost of Tsushima shirt that I outgrew. I got a Ghost of Tsushima mask. It's a game where I like bought merch for it. Like, that's how much I liked it. I just wanted everyone to know, like, Ghost of Tsushima, you know, like, play that shit. It deserves so much recognition, and I cannot wait for a sequel. I don't know if they're doing more DLC for it, but if they do, I'll definitely play it. But I'm pretty sure they're doing a sequel, and they are working on a movie. Sony has a movie in production, you know, Ghost of Tsushima movie. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be sick. But yeah, if I could restart the Ghost of Tsushima, I'd probably be pretty happy, because man, it's one of the best games ever made. Speaking of other good games, next game's on the list, God of War, another gem that I slept on so hard. I waited till 2020 to finally play this game. And that's with people that I used to work with telling me, oh my God, you gotta play God of War. It's so good. And I'm like, let me borrow it. I'll play it. And they just never gave me the disc, so I never played it. But then God of War was included in the PlayStation Plus collection, which I got for free whenever I purchased my PS5 at launch. It gave you a bunch of old PS4 games you could play. But they had also just upgraded God of War to where you had, you know, a 60 frames per second option, which they didn't have before. So I got to play it in 1080p 60, but then eventually they came out with a fucking 4K 60 update after I'd already beat the game. So I didn't get to play it in its top form, but I got to play it in a better form. And my God, is that game good. Holy shit, it is so fun, so gorgeous to look at. I had a blast with it. I cannot wait for Ragnarok to come out. I've got it pre-ordered already. It's coming out in November. I'll definitely be playing that. But if I could replay God of War, I'd be pretty happy about that, because man, that first experience with it was so good, and now they've upgraded it again. It would be even more gorgeous. It'd be equal level of fun. It's not going to be performing better in terms of the frame rate, but the resolution being upgraded is a pretty big deal. And I'd say Kratos is one of the coolest PlayStation characters by far. And man, I can't say enough good about God of War. If you have not played it, play it. The old games are okay, pretty fun, but this new version, that they've like changed it from their old God of War games to this new one, I love the new style so much. And that's how Ragnarok's going to be. So it's just going to be a continuation of it, and I can't wait to play it. All right, next on the list, you see over there on the TV, Horizon Forbidden West. So I played the original Horizon Zero Dawn game, and I have the Game of Year edition. I played quite a bit of it, had fun, but I never completed it because it was a little bit old by the time I finally played it. However, Forbidden West I got at launch, and oh my gosh, I was hyped for it. You know, I had a PS5 version. I knew the DualSense support right here was sick, and like it was. But the open world is just so beautiful and so fun to explore. The climbing is just so perfect, and the combat is really unique too. You basically are this like tribal girl, and you know, there's a bunch of other tribes and stuff. Tons of people. Like, it's a weird travel time mixed with dinosaurs, so it seems prehistoric, except for the dinosaurs are not dinosaurs. They're robot dinosaurs, and they're fucking huge and sometimes terrifying and really difficult to take down, and each, you know, one is different. It was so much fun, but I somehow got through this game very quickly. In under 50 hours, I got 100% on everything, got the platinum trophy, and you know, it was so much fun, but I feel like it should have been a little longer, but at the same time, I'm glad it wasn't, because I hate games that are too long. But now, like, I wish I could play more of it, but there's just no new content for it yet, and I'm not gonna get back into it until there is. So if they give some DLC to us, I'll probably try that out. But it's gonna be one of those games that's kind of hard to get back into, because it's so intricate, all the, you know, different crafting things, you know, memorizing which dinosaur or whatever you want to call them, robot things are, you know, how to kill them and stuff like that, which weapons are good against what, and all the controls. It's gonna be hard to get back into, but hopefully with the DLC they'll come out with like a re-tutorial type of thing where it like reminds you of the controls. We'll see, but I'll definitely be checking that out. And if you haven't played it, I would highly recommend you check it out. It's been on sale a couple times here and there, so you can get it for cheaper than $70 now, which is what I paid, which is kind of crazy, but it's worth it even then. But if you can get it on sale, it's a steal. So yeah, check out Horizon Forbidden West. All right, next, another game on the list that I just slept on for years and finally gave a chance, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, when this came out, I didn't care one bit that a new Star Wars game, single player, open world, difficult combat. I didn't care about any of it. I don't know why. It's the perfect game for me. Because once I finally played it, holy shit, it is so good. It's one of the best Star Wars games. It might be the best Star Wars game I've ever played. Right up there with Knights of the Old Republic or Battlefront. Like those games are also good, but Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I can't say how much I enjoy playing it. It like puts you in the shoes of being a Jedi. Not your typical one that's from a movie. Cal Kestis is this new Jedi. And there's some familiar Jedi faces. Won't spoil, but at the end there's a real big evil Sith you meet. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but if you played, you already know. I'm sure in the sequel that's already been announced, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is what it's called. It's probably gonna have that same Sith in there, let's just say this. The end of the game made me want to play more of the game so badly. And I already want to play more. It was so fun. But, it ended. So there's not much I could do. There's kind of like like a horde, almost like a horde mode, to where like you have waves of enemies that come at you that you can like play afterwards. But I didn't really get into that much. So the main story though, holy shit, it's good. And the exploration is so fun. There's a lot of backtracking and stuff, but the combat, almost Souls-like. I would say it's like a cross between regular hack and slash with Souls-like. It's really fun. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it. They just came out with a new next-gen version, the PS5 version. It's included if you already have the old version, which I had the old version, but I gave the disc version to my brother. So now I don't have it, so I haven't got to try the upgraded version, but I'm sure it's great. Probably better than ever. Not sure what they've done with the DualSense in it. Might be good, might not have done anything. But if I ever get the chance, say they give the game for free on PlayStation Plus, I'll check that out. But I doubt that'll happen. But yeah, Star Wars, definitely worth checking out. Especially if you're a fan of Star Wars. Like, what are you doing if you haven't played that? Don't be like me. Don't sleep on this game. Alright, next on this list is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This is the oldest game on my list. And it's not old. It's just older. It's aged very well. When you play it, it still seems like it could have just came out pretty much. And that's going to be emphasized even more once they come out with the next-gen version. Sometime before 2022 ends, they say. They've been working on Cyberpunk 2077, getting all the bugs fixed in that for so long that it delayed the Witcher 3 next-gen upgrade, but it's supposedly still coming, and I'm sure it'll make the game even better than before. And that's when I plan to get back into it, because when I originally played this, played for like 60 or 70 hours, didn't even get close to beating everything. I mean, I have played so much of this, and then something happened where I just stopped playing, and it was hard to get back into. It was a difficult game. I was so far into it that I just couldn't get back into the game. And I regret that, because it's one of the best games of all time in terms of RPGs. And I've kind of missed out on it because I didn't play any of the DLC. I didn't finish the main story. And now that the Netflix show's out, and I love it, Henry Cavill kills it as Geralt. It's such a good show, and it made me want to play the game again. So I purchased the Game of the Year edition, which, you can't bring your save over. So I had to start fresh. And it has a whole entire different list of, trophies or achievements too. So it's a separate game. But I got that version for only $10, and I'm waiting for it to get that upgrade before I actually get into the game. I've played the first hour or so, but I'm like, nah, it feels kind of old. I'm going to wait till they upgrade it and then start it back up. So it's going to be almost like I've forgotten the game and get to start it over. However, I'll still remember some things, especially once I start playing. So it's not going to be exactly like starting it over. But this is the only one on the list where I'm kind of going to get to replay it here soon. And I look forward to that. But until then, I'm just going to keep it in my library and be patient like I've been doing. But the last game on the list, okay, it's two games. These are bonus games. They're not in my PlayStation library. Well, I guess one of them is, but the other one isn't. I'm talking about Gears of War and Call of Duty. Both of them. There's so many Gears of War games and so many Call of Duty games. So I'm not going to specifically pick one of them. But the original Gears of War and Call of Duty 2 were the ones where I fell in love with the multiplayer for both of them. They're my two favorite multiplayer games of all time, I'd say. And Gears of War, holy shit, is so good. And I'm so sad that it's Xbox only because I don't have an Xbox anymore. I've got to play it on Game Pass on my iMac over here a little bit. But it's not the same because it's not at its full, power, basically. It's reduced resolution. The frame rate sometimes skips around. There's some latency with that because you're streaming the game. It's just not the same. And, I still had fun with it, the newest Gears. Now, Gears 1 and Gears 2, probably Gears 3 too. They were some of my favorite games of all time. I played so much of them and I was so freaking good at them. Like shotgun battles, bouncing off walls, one of the most fun games ever. And another game is equally as addictive as that is Call of Duty. I've played every Call of Duty game ever since the original. Like I'm talking like 2003 or some shit's when I started playing. And you know, I'm gonna buy the new. Actually, I've already purchased it. I've already pre-ordered the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So I'm gonna be playing that too. I've played every Call of Duty game for 20 years. It's kind of crazy. It's so good though that like I can't stop playing it. It's like one of my favorite games ever. I spend almost 100 hours every year on a Call of Duty game. There's been a couple Call of Duty games I hit 200 hours. I'm not one of those people that hits thousands of hours on games. I just don't play that much, but I still play quite a bit and consistently throughout the year. So it does add up. But I've never reached max prestige in a Call of Duty game. Let's just say that. But in this new game, I'm definitely gonna be enjoying it a lot because multiplayer is where it's at. Plus, I've got Warzone 2.0 that's coming out, and then the DMZ, that new game mode, and campaign. I mean, come on, Call of Duty is stacked. They have so much money behind it. There's almost no way it's gonna suck. It's really not even close to falling off. I don't feel like it might be a game that's around forever. Sadly, it might be top dog FPS forever. There's got to be something that comes out that can challenge it. But Call of Duty, my favorite first-person shooter, and Gears of War is my favorite third-person shooter ever. And both of those games, if I could re-experience them for the first time, especially as an adult, because I played them so young in my childhood for the first time, it would be so cool to play them again. But at least we still have new Call of Duty games coming out each year, and there's a new Gears of War game coming out soon, I'm sure. So there's still going to be an ability to re-experience these games, but it looks like for Gears it's going to be tough because I don't have an Xbox, and I don't plan on buying one. But my PlayStation's sitting over here. I could play Call of Duty at least for now, as long as they don't, take it and make it Xbox only. Like, Xbox has the ability to do that because they own Activision now. But I don't think that'll happen because Call of Duty is just too big. But yeah, that's my list of games that I wish I could forget and restart from the beginning, because there's so much fun to be had with all the games on this list today. I had to include the ones I included because I feel that they are absolute gems that you can't miss out on. So if there's one of these games you haven't played yet and you have the opportunity, I'd say check it out. I'm going to have a blog post to go with this video so you can check out a little bit more written information. Plus, I will have my older blogs linked for each of these games when I first got my platinum trophies for them. So you get to relive kind of that hype I had when I had just finished the game, and it's all super vivid in my mind. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of content along with this video. So make sure you check out that blog post. I'll have it linked. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Be sure to drop a comment below. Let me know what game you wish you could restart, or which of these games you also love that I mentioned today. And maybe if you're on Hive with me, make your own vlog. You don't have to make a video, but make a post about what games you wish you could restart that maybe I didn't mention today. Your favorite game that you played as a child that you wish you could re-experience for the first time. I will check it out. Be sure to tag me in that post if you do that, and I will leave a comment and upvote on that post as well. But that's going to be the end of this one. I'll catch you in another video soon. Peace out.